What's up, YouTube fam? Your boy FEMZ back again. Today, I'm going to talk to you briefly about the sorrow of invincibility, okay? You've been chasing power, you've been taming yourself, you've been self-improving. I don't like using that self-improvement word. To me, when I use my vocal deconstruction tool on self-improvement, it just becomes simping. You're simping for yourself, but do you really need to simp for yourself when you can be the monarch of yourself? So we don't self-improve here, we tame, alright? We call, we disintegrate, we overwrite, we don't self-improve because there's no object of our desire other than ourselves. Anyways, I have bestowed myself a degree, a PhD actually, in anime studies, and I got my degree from Rubber and Glue University, RNG University, okay? I'm just manifesting my actual degree for the university I'm in, but at the same time, I'm not playing any games. There's this anime called Ping Pong, the animation. I want you to watch that. That's where the Sorrow of Invincibility concept came from for me. I watched that anime when I was in SS2. SS2 is like year 11 for you Western people. It's secondary school. I watched that anime, and for the fact that the Sorrow of Invincibility phrase has been stuck in my head, I just want to give it out to the world and for you to realize that you are the purpose of existence. You, not your results, not your achievements, not your accolades, because there is a sorrow of winning constantly. Number one, if you realized you weren't powerful in the first place and had to shut the fuck up, your friends may see that as a sign of you wanting to excite from the group. You know, you're an electron, you're rotating too fast, you want to break out of the orbit of the anatomical compound, and you know, because everybody is dominated by fear and nobody is doing shadow work, they think you're going to split the atom and cause a bomb. But no, you're just exciting to another atomic variation that is more based around the principles in which you want to imbibe. But let's just fictionally say that you're imbibing the concepts. Every concept I'm telling you, you're actually going and you're doing the work in the shadows, right? To become a shadow monarch, to become an eminence in shadow, to become a bad man, to become a goat. You know, these are not words that are actually taken lightly in the real world. Like, for you to become any of these things, a great amount of solitude is required. And if you're successful, if you reach yourself, if you actually do the Sisyphean journey and arrive at yourself, you will be untouchable. You will have Gojo's infinity. Bullets will be stopping in your face, you know, verbal assaults will stop at your face. They won't enter your head. And it's beautiful to think that life can go like that, but when your only acknowledgement is the man in the mirror, there's a sorrow there. You know, there's some kindred spirits that really want the code, but you know that you've made a deal with power to shut up, and you know it's not your place to speak. You know, you're making actions in the morning and in the night and in the afternoon that people are just looking at like, what the fuck? And meanwhile, you just wanted to be the best version of yourself for those people. You know, you played ping pong to such an extent that you're unbeatable on the board. You studied math so well, you became unbeatable. You studied boxing so well, you became unbeatable. You studied art so much, you became unbeatable. But at what cost? I look around and I see a wasteland. I see graveyards. I see white flags. And here I stand, just alone. I'm not calling myself invincible yet. I'm not calling myself invincible under the sun. I'm channeling the Sorrow of Invincibility through a character in an anime called Ping Pong, the animation that you should watch. People don't like people. If the Constitution didn't exist and money was not an object, I'm telling you, real human nature will freak you the fuck out. You should be happy things are the way they are right now. It's very peaceful right now. I don't want to say it's the most peaceful time in history, because who am I to say so? But it's very peaceful right now. Clothes are cheap, food is cheap if you know what you're doing. So what are you doing with your life now? If you've reached a certain level of invincibility, you're not looking at brands. You don't want to be branded by anybody. You don't want to be branded by anything. You're the brand. Maybe you even cut all your hair off and you just become a hitman, an action man. I don't know, but a lot of people have different modalities of stripping away aspects of irrelevance for the pursuit of greatness. And I'm telling you that you will change. You will become a winner. You will become somebody who looks at a task and will not allow any single excuse override your ability to get things done. And when people see excuses not exist in your world, it's a stark reflection. Look, behind me is visible light. I am an opaque being. I am not transparent. So your eye, I'm literally a reflection of the universe at that moment in time, because I have your attention and you're looking at me, and it becomes a mirror. It gets flipped upside down and you just look at me and you see no excuses. A man promised his friends 5 years ago that he was going to be the greatest artist on the planet, and he knew he wasn't built like that to get it done now. And he went into the darkness to work. And while he was working, his friends made fun of him. His friends called him a quitter. His friends called him all sorts of things. And you left that friend group. You left. Like God did to Griffith, you left to go and struggle, because you know the validity of your dream is the only thing that could make that friendship worth anything after the insults and all the destruction that had been done to your psyche. And now you're invincible. Now you're shameless. Now your results speak for you. And people hate you. Now people are waiting for Lady Luck to change things into a tragedy for you. But you've already been laying in bed with power for years. They don't know that you're already fucking power. And now they're now begging Lady Luck for something. Lady Luck that strikes whoever she wants when she wants. Lady Luck that will strike somebody with 100x and they're obese, that they will use it to just go and walk to Tesco to buy a pizza instead of using their traditional moped. That's what they use the 1000x for. And you use the 1000x to get Mjolnir from the primordial hills, and now you're striking with authority on the anvil of your own darkness. And you want me and you to sit side by side on the table and talk about similar things. No, we can't. We can't talk. There's nothing to talk about. We're not the same type of person. We're not cut from the same cloth anymore. And that's the sorrow. The sorrow that we drank Capri Sun together. The sorrow that we built sandcastles together and we broke them ourselves. When we knew play was more nobler than work, and you're working. And I'm not working because I will never work. because you're never gonna enter simulated labor, because you know the power of your labor. You know your ability to move mass. You know what you are. You know you're a king with no crown, and you know your kingdom is yourself. Your crystal castles, bro. Your Taj Mahal, invisible. You're a shadow Taj Mahal. And I'm sorry that your friends could not meet you there. And I'm sorry that you can't genuinely express yourself to anybody because you're fucking power. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you turned these metaphysical concepts into women and fucked them and make them pregnant and gave you results. I'm sorry you have a shadow army waiting for your every move, waiting for your every command to do and get more. I'm sorry. That's the sorrow of invincibility right there. Stay safe.